Take it. Got it! Boston wins! Two legends in basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast. NBA, some college.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Ryan and Goodman podcast. Gary cannot be with us today, but we're going to fly the two of us, and we are sponsored, presented by Prize Picks, the exclusive fantasy partner of CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. All right, Robert, we got something to talk about here. I'm excited because we actually have like stuff every week now. We have games, and we have a game last night in Boston that you were at. In which can we start with what was it like when Steve Kerr was introduced and when he came on the court? And because of all this, I have my own thoughts on this Tatum Kerr rivalry, if you want to call it that.
Well, I have to admit, I was neglectful in making sure that I was present when he would first take the floor when they came out for warm-ups or whenever, some coaches come in very late. I don't know. I blew that. So I wish I had. That was my bad, all right? I was chatting. I was doing anyway. But the official introduction by Eddie Palladino, the longtime PA announcer at the Boston Garden, and he put a little flourish in it, and it was predictable boos naturally, and you knew that, and he knew it, and he was going to have. And I think he's a wonderful guy, and he took it, naturally, and he knew it was totally. How stupid would you have to be not to anticipate what was going to happen? No, so it happened. Okay, fine. That team, they're surprising the world a little bit right now, and the game was, and he played. Now the Celtics, of course, are playing shorthanded. And they were playing a bit shorthanded because Podziemski, who's become a regular major contributor, did not play for them. But it's still not the same as not having Porzingis and Brown. Of course, they haven't had Porzingis yet at all. All right, Celtics get off to a very quick start. Dennis, our boy Derek White has 11 quick points. They're up 14-3. But then the Warriors got their mojo going. They're up by 11 at the half. Celtics come back and to the point where they're up 7 with the ball. Yeah, with 6 and change, and then from that point on, the Golden State dominates the game, takes the game away from them. Here's what struck at me about what they did. Their transition finishes were fantastic. No one mentioned it but I took note of it when they attacked the hoop. Boy, they finished, and I mean it was not just one person, because Curry is totally underrated. As a guy going to the hoop. I love it when he goes to the hoop. But I'm talking, but he usually would think about him going to the hoop in the half court. But I'm talking about transition finishes, and and Jackson Davis and Anderson, etc. Company Waters, different guys made really good, solid finishes. Then, of course, we have one of the most interesting, intriguing stories of the year going on for them. Buddy Hield, is making it Clay who?
Yeah.
Right now, they don't miss him because he's giving them exactly.
He can do the same
Clay
thing.
Thompson would have given them. If maybe a little even more.
For less money.
So, a lot less money.
Yep.
Now, he got up to, he his first couple threes. And anyway, they're going to be, we know they're well coached and they have a superstar still. And they're going to be heard from. They're not going to win a championship. God knows.
No, I still say they're playing. I say they're playing way over their head right now.
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, right now, if the playoffs started tonight, you'd say, you wouldn't be saying, goody, we're going to play the Warriors. But you still think you could beat them.
Yeah.
But what Kerr's doing is attracting attention. He's spreading out the minutes in a way we haven't seen very often in the last 30 or 40 years. The two leading minutes guys, or three of them, at 28 minutes, give or take, with the decimal points, are Curry, predictably 28, Green 28, and Podziemski 28, but they've got Wiggins 26 minutes a game, Hield 21, Moody 17, Jackson Davis 18, Melton 17. He didn't play yesterday, I don't think. Anderson 14, Looney 16, Waters 15, Payton the second 13. 13 guys are getting minutes at least 13 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Wow. Now is that going to be maintained? Is that going to be the formula for the rest of the year? No one thinks it will be. But
I mean, what they do is they guard now because they've got some young guys who can.
yeah,
Looney gets after it defensively. We know Draymond does. Wiggins, when he wants to be, can be a really good defender. So, like, that's the big difference to me why they're winning games right now. Because I don't think, again, I look at it and, I like Trace Jackson Davis. He's a good player.
I liked him in college.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, again, Budzinski's a good player. I think they're ultimately, if they're in that 4-5 game, then Steve Kerr has done a hell of a job in the West.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more about just making it at all.
Yeah, I think they'll make it, but again, people get so caught up in a 7-1 or whatever they are start, and it's 8 games. I mean, it's 8 games.
Yeah.
Now, again, that's a great win in Boston. That's a great win.
It's a nice win for them. And I mean, I'm sure they were really feeling very good about themselves. I'm sure their announcers were crowing nicely. It was, they're going to beat the champs. And once again, the Celtics are not the whole team that they're going to be, but still in all, they've been winning despite it until last night, except for that overtime loss, Indiana. It was a nice night. It wasn't a great night of NBA basketball, but if I'm Golden State fan, I'm feeling proud of my team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
I'm feeling proud of my team.
And I'm happy that Steph is relevant right now. I don't know how long it'll last, but just like you want LeBron to be relevant at the end here, you want Steph to be relevant. Can I tell you my thoughts on the Tatum Kerr thing?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of know both of them pretty well. I'll say this from Tatum's end. The one thing with Jayson Tatum, I don't think he gets into a lot of the drama. I just don't. That's not him. He's not like this, guy who's like a reality TV guy, right? Who talks to everybody, who gossips. I think obviously he heard everybody else talking about this, which made it a lot bigger, right? When everybody else picked up on it and they talk about how, he got screwed by Steve Kerr, this, that, and the other. Obviously, yeah, it's a hit to his ego anyway. It's a hit to his ego. And, I think if Steve Kerr had just been fairly transparent going in and told them, hey, listen, here's the deal, man. We're probably going to go with the old guys because this is their last hurrah, right? And you're probably going to play. You might not play a game here or there, but this one's going to be a little different than 4 years from now. I think it would have been fine, but I don't think the communication maybe was as good. But again, I just don't get the sense that Jayson Tatum really cares all that much about all this stuff. I think he just wants to play ball. He's never he never complains to me about anything. Other people around him, feed into this stuff and talk to him about it and make him aware. I just don't think Jayson Tatum is, going on, looking at what other people are saying about this big thing between him and Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr, listen, Steve Kerr doesn't give a shit either, to be honest. He doesn't care. I mean, he cares way more about the election 2 days ago than he did about coming to Boston and dealing.
Yeah, he had his little say last night about that too.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I didn't see it, but I'm sure he did.
He had a little sarcasm. I'll just say, anybody wants to know, it's easy. Go Google it. You'll find them. Go YouTube them, whatever you want to do. You'll find it. And
I think Tatum, the good thing for Jayson, now I will say this. I saw he used his name in the third person last night post game. Yeah, I'm so not a fan of that. That's the only thing that I think I'm going to text him and be like, come on, man. Don't become Mike. I remember Michael Jordan, one of his retirement speeches, might have been the first one. I think I counted how many times he used his name in the third person. It was like 50 times within one 10-minute speech. And I'm just like, okay, you're the greatest ever. We get it. That doesn't mean you got to say Michael. And I didn't watch the video. I just saw it in a quote where he said Jayson. So I don't know how it came across, but yeah. Listen, again, I think this is overblown. I think people, and again, sometimes too, you're trying to find things that can fuel you, right? And people are talking about, you weren't the MVP last year. You weren't the best player on your team. And you didn't play in the Olympics. And, sometimes you got to find those things. And, I just thought, again, in a week in which he was, basically cross-checked by Grant Williams and didn't really react to that one. And then this with Steve Kerr. I thought Jayson handled it pretty well.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. They got over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, so you just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up 100 times your cash. Your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get into the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay even if one of your players gets hurt or injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and give $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. I think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers this week, or Anthony Edwards more than 27 points. Cook up some hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season. Get your crew to run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And, you know, some of the Prize Picks you could be looking at: Luka Doncic for more than 31.5 points, Steph Curry for more than 4 3-pointers, Anthony Davis more than 11 boards, the freak Giannis for more than 29.5 points. Again, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Speaking of the Grant Williams thing, it was inexplicable in his. I don't get it. I don't get what he was trying.
Well, I think he's just trying to keep his job. I do. I think he's just trying to stay in the league at this point and make sure he's good and play hard and earn his teammates' respect, which he didn't really have in Dallas. Can he get that in Charlotte? It was a dumb move. And again, like the funny thing of that is, I remember they had their lockers next to each other for years, and that was back when Jayson didn't really say 2 words, and Grant wouldn't shut up in a good way. And I think Grant helped Jayson Tatum get out of his shell and be more confident as a person. And that's why I think, again, you look at how Tatum did not really react. I think he just choked it up to, this is Grant being Grant. Like, I still love him. He helped me in my career, and he's a good dude. He just never shuts up.
Yeah. Now, moving on a little bit, one guy that continues to open our eyes a little bit is Neemias Queta.
Yes.
He had another decent game last night.
Yep.
He does good big man stuff. I call it useful. I call useful bigs, stuff. He does useful big stuff. He plays big. He's a finisher. He's an alley-oop target. There's a great photo in the Boston Globe today of the block he made. The hand is absolutely cupping the ball. The perfect textbook dream block for a guy, Yeah. And of course, thing is about it, that kept the ball in play. It wasn't one of those showboat blocks knocking it into the 3rd row or 5th row or the 20th row, and then they come back and they score anyway. No, it was he's useful. Now there's a casualty in this new rotation, if you will. Tillman. Now,
he's not playing.
Tillman got DNP'd, and just when we thought we were starting to like him, that he contributes at both ends. So I don't know if they do. Once again, it speaks to my point about how many good, useful NBA players they do have.
Well, Cade is different, right? Cade is energy, toughness, athleticism, shot block, run the court, finish, rebound. Like, that's all he is. Now, I will say this: when you have your other 4 guys around him, Neemias Queta is fine. Yeah. But when you don't have Jaylen Brown, it's a lot harder for the guy who can't really score.
Now, with regard to this extraordinary minutes of that Steve Kerr is distributing, it brought something to mind that I lived through. In 1970-71, the Detroit Pistons, coached by Butch von Breitkopf, he basically announced he was going to go 2 platoon in a very serious way.
Really?
And I was dying to look, and I looked it up to see if I was, misremembering having a senior moment, or whatever the hell. And no. It was even more amazing than I remembered. But the one thing here's why it got my interest back. For some reason, have you ever heard of a chap named Otto Moore?
I heard the name. I heard the name.
Otto Moore was a 6'11" journeyman center of the time. Okay. And he happened to be the center when they had a draft pick named Bob Lanier.
Yep.
Bob Lanier's a rookie. And and by the way, the first pick in the draft in 1970.
Yeah.
Rudy Tomjanovich was second. Okay.
Yep.
And so on we go. And Maravich was third. Cowens was fourth. And Sam Lacey was fifth. Well, anyway,
wow.
That's another story. But Butch shared the minutes. That team had 10 guys who for the season averaged 21 or more minutes a game.
Wow.
And an 11th who averaged 18. And the 11th was none other than the great Terry Driscoll, pride of Boston College.
Yeah.
But Dave Bing was the leader with 37. Jimmy Walker, that was a hell of a backcourt, by the way, had 35. Terry Dissinger, 29. Bill Hewitt, pride of Cambridge, Ringe, and Latin.
Ooh.
And University of Southern California. Bill Hewitt, 28. Lanier, 25. Howard Comives, 25. Moore, 24. So basically, they were 24 points, but they split the job for the season. Okay. Erwin Muller, who was a not thuggy, but a brutish kind of guy, 6'8" from out of US San Francisco. Steve Mix, before he became 76 or 24. A guy named Bob Quick out of Xavier, who was 21, and Driscoll, 18. 11 guys on that team have played 18 or more minutes a game.
That's crazy.
How'd they do? They were 45 and 37.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. But
that's probably what Golden State will be if they're lucky.
Yeah, right, exactly. So there's your little historical blessing of the day. There's the 70-71 Pistons. But the thing I love is the idea that Moore and Hall of Famer to be Bob Lanier literally split that job that year. Butch was, and it shouldn't have happened. Lanier deserved to play more. But I'm convinced that Butch was wedded to his mad scientist idea of the platooning, So
hey, you know who's already missing a game? Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, hey, turn the hourglass over. Thank you for reminding me. 4 guys on that Pistons team played all 82 games.
Wow.
This is the NBA.
All right, so that's what I'm getting at here. AD's already hurt a little bit, and we know he's going to miss games. LeBron has said he wants to play 82 games this year at 40 years old. Bob, is this a stupid idea or not?
Maybe if you, in some of those games, you play 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes instead of,
But back-to-backs? You like him playing back-to-backs?
No, I mean, no. I never, I guess I have to go along with the program here. You don't.
You don't have to go along with it.
I'm still old school. I'm still old school, but think about it. The 4 guys there played 82 games, and Walker.
Are any of them 40 years old, Bob?
No. And Walker played 79 games. Okay?
No, none of them were named LeBron either.
None of them were 40 years old. No.
But none of them were. Hey, this dude is different. We know that. We've known that for a long time. There's going to be nobody like LeBron James ever again, okay? But I think J.J. Redick and LeBron need to have a talk here and understand that I know you got to – obviously you want to get to the playoffs, all that. But if LeBron James, you get to the playoffs and he's worn down by then, what good is it? What good is it?
No, I agree. But once again, with AD, it's such a – And oh, by the way, we had mentioned that also missed a game. He did play last night, put up good numbers. Zion,
yeah,
and now he's got a thigh. That
always something.
That body just doesn't want to play basketball.
Yeah,
it wants to be UFC or something. I mean, it doesn't want to.
He wouldn't last there long. He wouldn't last long. We know that.
Or rush the passer. But not play basketball. And he's so good.
Yeah, he is talented. It's just, again, these guys, and that's, again, what we've talked about. I worry about it a little bit from the other end with, seen it. And we've seen it with guys like Porzingis, like Kevin Durant, the body build of Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. Is it going to hold up? Now, Victor supposedly, again, has this routine, takes care of his body, this, that, and the other, like very few do, especially at his age. But that body build, Chet Holmgren, I know, it was fluky, but he missed his whole rookie season. you just wonder whether these guys that are big, strong, thick, and that's why what LeBron's done is remarkable.
Well, if you check the history, when he came along, I did a pretty good study, I think, of thinking about historical precedents and that body type just historically doesn't last. It just doesn't. And Lonnie Shelton. Yeah. I don't know if Lonnie Shelton was a good basketball player, but he had an abbreviated career. If anybody had a body very similar to LeBron, to Zion Williamson, it probably was Lonnie Shelton. Yeah. And Oliver Miller, yeah. who was a 6'9". Actually, he was a finesse player, really funny with that body, but a good touch and all that. But Lonnie Shelton didn't have the career he should have had, and I mean, you want the guy to play. You want to see this guy. You want him out there. You want him to enjoy his life and do what he loves. But he's good. He's very good at this thing of basketball when he can stay on the floor. Yeah. He's very good at it.
It's, again, you'd love to see him play 75 games and see not only what he's capable of doing, but what his team's capable of doing.
'Tis the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, the NBA season, folks. It is the best. Look, the NFL is great. I understand. But if you're looking into star power, celebrity, entertainment, it's the NBA. There's no doubt about it. And my Celtics, I'm looking for them to defend. We need a new dynasty in the NBA. We need one. Okay? And I think this Celtic group can do it. I know the Celtic group can do it. And you know who else, from what I understand, is a Celtic fan? Is Hugh Jackman. Yes. Wolverine himself, the greatest showman, Hugh Jackman, is a big Celtic fan. And if you're like us and you want to check out the Celtics or maybe any other team that happens to be coming to town to try to knock off the kings of the NBA, the Celtics, make sure you go to Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Now, Game Time, and you can get your Celtics tickets there. It's really easy to do. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier, because Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, right, to show you incredible deals and great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Like when I go to my Game Time app, it says Celtics game right there. Boom, pops up, how much the price is. I'm ready to go. It's as simple as that. They have super deals. They're as good as it gets. Check it out on the Game Time app. And again, I can't emphasize how easy it is, even for an idiot like me. You download the app. It's got a G on it for Game Time. You just click it on. You can designate where you want to go, what you want to do. You can, favorite your games and your cities and so forth. And it pops up on the screen. You click it on, and there you go. And you're off and running. It's as simple as that. They also have curated deals to make it easy to find best prices and great seats. They have the super deal. And I love this part. You know the view of your seats before you buy them. You know what you're getting. And it has the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and so much more. So, Game Time Picks. Curation makes it easier to save more on concerts, comedy, theater, sports. Oh, speaking of concerts, Coldplay coming to Gillette Stadium in July of 2025. Tickets are already up on Game Time. Not bad either. Not bad at all. And the Jingle Ball Kiss, the iHeart Jingle Ball at the Garden, you can get tickets on that too. And they always have big stars around Christmas time. So all-in pricing, toggling, they call it toggling. It shows you everything up front. No surprise fees at checkout. And I mentioned the seat views, great panoramic views, so you know you're buying. Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.
Now, there's a guy I'd like to bring up that it's interesting what he's doing at the moment and how his career has evolved.
Okay.
And I don't know what your thoughts on him, but this is flying blind. It's great. I want to hear your thoughts. I'll just play word association or image association or anything you want. Dennis Schröder. What comes to mind for you with Dennis Schröder?
A lightning rod. A guy that a lot of people, he's been in a lot of different teams because I think...
just 7, that's all.
Yeah, he's not that easy to get along with or play with. So he's bounced around quite a bit. How many teams?
7, one of them twice.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of
Lakers.
teams in a fairly, what was he drafted 10 years ago?
I have it. I got it right here. His rookie year was 2013-14.
Okay, so about 10,
and
11 years.
He's gone OKC, Lakers, Celtics, Rockets, Lakers, Raptors, Nets. Now, here's why I bring it up. He's having a hell of a start.
Hawks.
Of course. Hawks first, then OKC.
Yep.
Yeah, the Hawks drafted him.
Yep.
For people who don't know, he is German. He is African. He's German, African German. I mean, what can I say? He's obviously, and he's very much a German. I mean, and his whole history. He was not developed here in the United States. He's one of those guys. He was developed completely in Europe. Did not play college ball in the United States.
Yep.
And he, by the way, has a world championship ring. If they have a ring, I don't know what you get to win the world, but Germany won last year. And he was the point guard.
Yep.
Well, I'm bringing this up because I'm reading the New York papers, and they are fawning over him.
Here's what I'll say. You can fawn over him all you want. There's such a thing as a leading scorer on every crappy team. I know the Nets are 4-4 right now, but they're going to be a crappy team. We know that. They're crappy. And he's not leading them, but Cam Thomas is. Cam Thomas is another guy that's best served coming off the bench for a good team. That's what I think Schröder is. That's the problem. You have this Brooklyn Nets team that I don't know if they're tanking. I mean, certainly looks at it by the look of their roster. I mean, it stinks.
But the point, what I'm getting, they're actually playing better than people thought. So
no question.
They got a coach. The coach. Did you know much? I didn't know anything about Fernandez, the new coach.
Nothing, zero.
All right, but apparently the initial Dixville Notch returns on him are pretty good. And to what he's doing. And why I'm bringing up Schröder ultimately, Jeff, is they're touting him as a leader. He is assumed control of that team, and he is outspoken, and he's leading, and he's sounding like a statesman. I'm telling you. And
maybe it's like Rondo. Maybe it's like Rondo and how he matured later on in his career. Maybe it's similar.
Yeah. Well, maybe it is. So he's 31. So time, that's so interesting that I'm just throwing him out there. He's always been fast. Oh, remember, he was so noticeable because when he came to us, he had that streak in his hair. He's finally
that's right.
You couldn't miss him. We had that orange streak in his hair. He got rid of that. But it's an interesting career, I mean, there's how many hundreds of guys in the NBA, and it's like they said in New York, 8 million stories, right? They all have a story, and his story, quite frankly, is unique as a dark-skinned African, a German, he's this phenomenon. And you're right. I was thinking about analogies. Was he, I don't know, Patrick Beverley with a jump shot? Or
his jump shot got better. But yeah, I mean, he's super fast. I mean, again, he can make people better when he wants to.
I remember, a couple of good games. Like I remember being present one night when he had the good Celtics got 20, 25. But obviously he gets passed around. When a guy gets passed around that way, it means two things. There's something available there that people want, but then they don't. But it's not enough that you cry about losing them. But he's going to have a career. He's going to make a lot of money. And I'm just throwing it out there. He's to me an interesting story right now.
That's Bob's random fact of the day, random guy of the day. We can't close, Bob, without talking about the lone undefeated team in the NBA right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
On the bandwagon. I'm on.
Oh, here we go.
I'm on. I'm on the bandwagon with them.
Why?
I just think they got some good. I just think it's some good players. And Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah.
They got a coach that is well respected in that league.
Yes.
As far as I can tell. Yep. And they've got right now. Who's had a better backcourt start than Garland and Mitchell? Nobody.
And remember a year ago, there was some speculation. I think it might have been the agent, even somebody saying that Darius Garland wanted out. If Donovan Mitchell was coming back, Darius Garland wanted out of Cleveland. And I'm thinking to myself, why? They're very different. Darius Garland is a point guard. They can share this spotlight here. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is the guy that everybody talks about. But to me, the most underrated guy on that team is Evan Mobley.
Well, and I was just going to say Allen. So there we go.
Yep.
The two of them. They fit in my category, useful bigs. They got two useful bigs there.
Yep.
And I think their heads appear to be in the right place. And I think they love their positioning, knowing that the Knicks were getting all this offseason play, and we'd still have the Sixers, and the people were speculating how they were going to turn out. That's another story. We don't know how, we have no idea how that's going to turn out, and the Bucks, because of but they were laying in the weeds a little bit, and they gave the Celtics trouble, and they lost Mitchell last year. And I think they're in a position where they're in we're going to show you mode. You know what I mean? We're going to show you. And so, I think Cleveland is definitely going to have a good year.
They just have a lot of good players. And then their bench, they got a lot of high character. Ty Jerome, George Niang, Sam Merrill, Karis LeVert. Like the job that Kobe Altman and Mike Yancey have done to build this team when we thought they were dead when LeBron left years ago again.
Yep.
I mean, we thought there was no way they were going to bounce back from that. The job those two have done, I would say this too, Mike Yancey should get a job running his own franchise. He's been that good. The former Bonnie.
I well remember him.
Yep, I know you do. I know you do.
He was my guy. I said,
Yep.
He was the first guy when I started a run of guys who I'd go to the NCAA tournament and say, every year there's going to be a guy I want to adopt. Yep. And he's the first one that
if you were around him, you'd really want to adopt him, because as good as he was on the court and as much as you liked him, he's that much better off the court. Really, really intelligent, handles himself the right way. So they put together a team here that, they just have a lot. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's good enough as a number one guy to lead a team to the NBA Finals. But I will say this, like Jimmy Butler did it a few years ago, and Donovan Mitchell is a more well-rounded, maybe overall player than Jimmy Butler. And they've got a great supporting cast. I mean, they really, that's the one thing. There's not much drop off. The team fits together very well. One
more thing we should address. Are we waiting? I'm waiting for Joe Mazzulla to walk back the advocation, fighting. Yeah, endorsing fighting in the NBA. Foolish.
I mean, nobody's pushed back that much. I mean, they pushed back.
Foolish. He should have been called into the principal's office.
It was a weird comment. It was a weird. Yeah, we still got to get Brad Stevens on here at some point.
Yeah.
Again, I know we talked about that. I'll see. I actually texted him the other day because I was watching. We did an event out in Sioux Falls, and I was watching Southern Illinois play. And the last time I had seen the Salukis play in person was Brad Stevens' rookie year as a head coach at Butler.
Okay.
They went to Carbondale. It was his 11th game, I believe, as a head coach. Went to Carbondale, won the game on a 40-footer from A.J. Graves at the buzzer. They win. Again, 11th game of Brad Stevens' coaching career. And how does Brad Stevens react? No reaction. Zero reaction. How about that?
Yeah.
Not surprising now. It was then.
No. Well, yeah, we didn't know anything about him. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Very good.
All right. Well, there you have it. Ryan and Goodman podcast. Breaking it all down. Celtics. We got a little bit of Cavs. We got a little bit of Dennis Schröder.
Don't forget those 71 Pistons.
The 71 Pistons. I mean, when you come here, you never know what you're going to get. So thanks for joining us. We are presented, as always, by Prize Picks, and we'll see you next time.